So, final boss time. I like the reflections and the lighting and stuff. Welcome to my glorious stage! I've been waiting for you, Peach! Your brilliant luster has built up everyone's hopes and expectations, and the bigger their dreams, the bigger their despair when I shatter them all, creating the fire's most decadent tragedy. The offset of like the shadow effect is definitely more on the first line than the second. I've waited for this in order to complete my ultimate stage. I need someone like you to play my foil. What does that even mean? What? Come now, let the tragedy begin. It's showtime! Whoa, they said the title of the game. That means it's serious now. Okay. Okay, I got you there, Odor Master. Oh, wait. I can't jump. I can literally just attack. So I move faster when I'm not attacking. So just... I guess just keep doing this? Can I charge it or something? Nope, I can't. Okay. Back and forth here. It'd be nice if I could jump, but yeah, my jump button just isn't doing anything right now, so I guess I'm just attacking. I guess I spam. Okay. I hope that you're taking okay. Phase 2, I guess? Yeah, you know how I was talking earlier about how the gameplay of this game is about as simple as it gets? Yeah, about that. That seems to very much be the case. Alright, But yeah, phase 2, now things are serious. Now things are super serial. What's the point of them going up there if I can't jump? Unless there's some jump button that I'm just not realizing, but my regular jump button of A is not it. How do I dodge that train then if I can't jump? My A button is normally my jump button, but it doesn't do anything. I swear. Okay. Time to take your leave. Okie doke, take care. There's a sandwich. Wow, phase 3. Up button? I can try. Oh, I can fly! I don't jump, I fly. Okay. I wouldn't have guessed it. Okay, well, I guess I am kind of hovering here. I did show when I got the power that like Peach was flying around, but yeah, I didn't realize. Guess I'm just a little bit silly. Whoa. Okay. Okay, well. Many hits, many stars being sent your way. Or they're not stars, they're like those things that I've been collecting that I don't remember what they're called. Okay, I gotcha. Well, I couldn't go down fast enough while I was shooting. Okay. Do I hit you with some crazy beam now? Kamehame! Oh, just keep on pressing B, I guess. I mean... Biden blast. Is that it? There's no way that's it. What, did you become my dress and powers? And we did it. Thank you so much, Peach. Your sparkle is truly amazing. The theater's going to be okay now. Let's get back to everyone. Not so fast. Too soon, much too soon to end things here. We haven't even gotten to the finale yet. Peach, my dark powers are destined to dull your incessant sparkle, and such a magnificent tragedy will be played out. The effects and stuff are pretty cool. So, true final boss. What do you bet I have to go across using all 10 of the powers? What do you bet? I'd bet. Bad end. What? Now it really feels like Donkey Kong Country Returns. On steroids. Our theater, it's in pieces. If Grape continues unchecked, the entire island will be destroyed. It might really be the end. It's snowing! With the help of all the teensies, I mean all the... I don't actually remember what they're called. It's the end of Pokemon, the first movie! Just become Rosalina here. This is the same state that we were in before. Unless it's more powered up now. Ha! Come on, Peach. Let's go. Let's rumble. So true file boss time. Face and hand out original and Rosalia filing for DMCA. That's right. Controls. Okay, hold B to attack. Hold it? Oh, I got a laser now! Do I have to hit these? What do I hit? Oh, not those. Okay, I guess I just hit you and avoid those. Oh, I hit your mask. Okay, I've got a mega beam now. Bam! Ah, try to block your face. See if I care. Okay, these are really easy to dodge then. Okay. Imagine that was like a portal that just like sent my beam back to me. Okay, well now I know what that does, sort of. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Appreciate it. So, ooh, I can just get under there. Cool. Okay, well. Get right in between your hands or something. So, okay, I gotcha. And now keep on getting your face. If you were smart, you just block your face with one hand and then attack with the other one. Then I wouldn't really be able to win. Okay, well. This is certainly something. This is not how I thought I'd be spending my evening tonight. I'm gonna be honest. This is certainly something. Ooh, lasers. Whoa. Fine. My laser's cooler. In more ways than one. Okay. Okay, just snipe you this way. Yeah. Get little pot shots here where I can. Why ever not? Okay. Oh, 3 big lasers. That's fine. This is a-okay. Okay. What do you think about that, huh? Ooh, no more mask for you. Now I have to mash to something the crystal that I'm forgetting now from Bravely Default. Awaken the crystal. I forget what words are sometimes. Use a Charizard seismic toss here. I have to mash? Oh. I thought it was a cutscene. I'm mashing. Imagine you don't mash hard enough and then just like game over. The final purple person is getting deleted from this world. So, I did it. Yeah, the racism against purple is no more now. There's no more purple people. We did it. We stopped racism by committing genocide. Oh, and I'll just bring back up the theater. So is this theater like in the middle of the ocean or something here? Did she just say Showtime? Wow. Okay. What do I say now? So that was like the greatest video game of all time? During the credits is always when I get my full review. It definitely was a video game of all time. GG. GoödFeël Co. I knew going into this that I wasn't exactly going to be the target audience or anything like that, and I wasn't expecting this to be the kind of thing where it's like, oh, it's a kind of game that I really like, and it turns out it's like amazing, and like, well, my favorite game is. I wasn't going into this expecting like, this is my kind of game and I'm gonna really like it, or anything like that. I know I'm not really the target audience here. But I also figured like, if a game is made really well and has like a good gameplay loop, that shouldn't really matter all that much unless you're targeting like the youngest demographic ever and making things the most simple as possible. Like, you can make a good, simple, fun video game for anyone to enjoy, and it can be amazing. Like, really good example of that is like the original Roller Coaster Tycoon games, or Plants vs. Zombies, or things like that. That are just like good, simple fun for anyone to enjoy. Things like that. And I figured if this was a good, simple, fun game, like I could at least get behind that and be like, alright, this is a pretty fun, satisfying gameplay loop. It feels like for players like me that do a lot of video game stuff, this probably isn't like the best experience for, with how it's about as simple as it gets. Like, again, the controls in this game are move around, jump, action. That's it. That's it, really. Oh, and like the strike a pose thing with the bumpers that is used to get to secret areas. But it's not really something that you functionally need to do. You literally just move around, jump, and action. GoödFeël, they really try to rebuild after the stinker that is Yoshi's Crafted World. Was that one not all that great there? I appreciate that, Hikari. I'm surprised that that wasn't the case before, because I thought that that was where you found like my channel from, but hey, I appreciate that. But yeah, so it's about as simple as it gets, and it feels very much like one of my PS2 multiple games in one, or like game demos in one, because I feel like if this game had gone like all in on a particular kind of job here, then it could have made like an actual really fleshed out experience, but each of them is more of like a trial of various different things. And I have a feeling I know why they did it like this. There's a lot of things in the media industry that are like, hey, if we're trying to appeal to an audience of young girls, that I assume that's what this is trying to do, we should be sending messages like they can grow up and be anything, stuff like that. And I assume that that's what the main purpose of this game probably is that it is, if I had to guess, it's not like I know for sure, but my best interpretation of it is that this is a this is a game made for a primary audience of younger girls that is meant to be a game that shows them that they can be anything. They can get out there and they can do anything. I have the opportunity to make like the most sexist joke imaginable. I can't just hint at it and not say it. I was about to say, but clearly this game doesn't apply because everything was on stage. It wasn't real. No, no, I assume that it is meant to be the. I'm sorry. Establishing it's a joke. Don't cancel me. But like, and I assume that that's like the main purpose there. It's interesting that it's a everyone 10 and up, because it feels like a game that would be better intended for younger audiences than that, or those that aren't as into gaming kind of stuff and want something really simple there. Like, I think if this was a game that had come out when I was a kid and was something handheld like the Switch is that people could play on the go, then there might have been some people that I would have been growing up with that could be getting into something like this. But nowadays, I feel like kids growing up playing games nowadays are playing very different things. Like my cousin's younger kiddo, she's 12 years old, and things that she plays a lot of are things like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Roblox, and sometimes some single player games, but it's mostly kind of stuff like that. And that's the kind of thing that a lot of kids play nowadays, who would probably look at a game like this and be like, why would I play that when I can instead be making progress in these other games that I'm playing here? So while I feel like this game might have been like pretty appealing to younger audiences that are new to gaming, or at least just of a younger demographic in general, many years ago, like when I was a little kid, I don't really feel like it's what the gaming landscape looks like anymore with the way that things have gone, especially when you consider the price point. The fact that this was an $80 game here in Canada, so I assume like $60 US in the States, where, like, as we discussed before, where it's like, you can get like so many indie games for like so much cheaper nowadays, rather than shelling out full price for the AAA experience. And it's this. Like, this wasn't an awful game. It wasn't bad by any means, but when it has that $80 price tag on it, you can get so much more bang for your buck. And to use some examples I listed earlier of like good, simple, fun games that anyone can enjoy, we can look at the model of like Roller Coaster Tycoon, for example. The main developer of that game, Chris Sawyer, when he was programming it, none of the objectives in that game are ever very difficult. It's always like, have X amount of people in your park by this date with a park rating of at least 600, which just means that you're not locking people into your park and making everyone miserable. Sometimes some other objectives, but it's usually stuff like that in the original couple of games. And the game pretty much always gives you more than enough time to be able to get that. It's never really all that hard to reach it. And that's because the main developer, Chris Sawyer, was like, I wanted to focus on fun first and foremost rather than a challenge per se. I wanted this to be a game that anyone can hop into and enjoy, whether you're trying to get like the most guests in your park by that date, or whether you're just having fun, simple fun putting down rides and stuff. And that was like my first PC game that I dumped a lot of time into. I got a disc of Roller Coaster Tycoon in a cereal box back when I used to do that, put computer games in cereal boxes and put that in the computer. And if you play Roller Coaster Tycoon, there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of buttons across the top that let you micromanage so many different things. I did not know crap when I was playing that game. I figured out how to build rides and paths, and I started doing that. It took me probably like a month or two as a kid to find out that I could hire staff. And then like, it was probably a year after playing that I figured out I could adjust like park entrance fees sometimes. Like, there's all these options that the game gives you, but it's not the kind of game that forces you into using all these things. There's a lot of depth there, but it's optional, so it can be enjoyed by like any audience, any demographic. And it was a really good learning experience for me because it felt like there was always like more that I could learn, like more depth that I could unpack, as opposed to a game like this where it's meant to be like a good simple fun that anyone can enjoy, but it doesn't really have any additional depth. Like, if you want to play at a higher level, you really don't. Whereas if you're playing something like Roller Coaster Tycoon with a model that Chris Sawyer had for that game, there we go, I use that for a thumbnail or something. it's a kind of thing where it's like, you can play it as like the most simple video game ever and have a lot of fun. Or you can micromanage everything and experience all the depth that game has to offer and have a lot of fun doing that. Like, there's multiple different options here. Whereas this, there's only the most basic gameplay ever as like your only option. There's not really much room to really delve into it and play. And again, because like so many younger generations nowadays that are growing up into this modern media space and the modern gaming industry, they're growing up with like very different things than things like I would have with Roller Coaster Tycoon there, for example. Things like Genshin Impact, other freemium games. Roblox is another really big one there, as I was mentioning with my younger little cousin playing. That's the kind of thing that's really big with kids nowadays. There wasn't really freemium games back when, as far as I'm aware. Special dress is now available. Talk to the shopkeeper, can decorate the theater now, can do all this stuff, boss challenges. Because here's an interesting analogy here. One of the jobs that I was doing in summer during university is I was doing IT work for this company that does contract IT work for lots of other companies. And my first couple weeks, I was working in casinos. I was helping with IT work there. And the person that I was assisting, while I was working there for a couple weeks, he had asked me if I noticed anything in particular about the demographic of people that were going to the casino, typically there. And I said that I had noticed that a lot of people seemed to be of a much older demographic. It was a lot of seniors and elders that were in the casino, making up the majority of people that were there and gambling. And the reason that he attributed to that is he said, like, when you're young, like when you're a kid, you have lots of time and lots of energy, but no money. When you're an adult, you have lots of money and lots of energy, but no time. When you're a senior, like when you're an elder, you have lots of time and lots of money, but you have no energy to say, like, they can't really be going out and about doing physical activities or other, like, major hobbies that take a lot of effort as much as younger generations can. Which is why things like the games at a casino, where it's like, all you need to do is, like, pull the lever or maybe play some cards that you can understand. Like, it's simple enough to understand and get behind. Like, you can have the low energy, as he phrased it, and still be able to do it, while using that time that you have a whole bunch of and using that money that you have a whole bunch of. So the way that he attributed it was just like, a lot of people are retired looking for things to do, but like other alternatives, like say video games, would be way too complicated to that kind of demographic in a lot of cases. So here's like this simple fun here of like gambling some of their monies that they made over like many decades of work. And that analogy, like applying that to the younger generations of lots of energy to be able to do stuff like this and lots of time, but no money, I think is one of the major reasons why freemium games have taken off as much as they have. Considering, like, I remember when I was a kid, I was getting like an allowance of $20 a month. So if I wanted to get like a video game or something like that, I needed to save up. That or I got like some cheapo game from the bargain bin. So most of my PlayStation 2 games that I own are absolute crap that aren't very good. The only like big name that I ever got into on the PS2 was Sly Cooper. Just because Sly 2, my parents got for me with my PS2, and then I got into that and I was like, now I gotta save up for Sly Cooper. But a lot of the time I was just getting like crap games when they were coming out. Like, if freemium games were coming out when I was a kid, I have no doubt I probably would have gotten addicted to, like, a couple freemium games. Yay, Peach, you must have read my letter. Friend here wants to see more of your performances. Yeah, post-game, what, you perform for us in the Sparkle Theater again? And I feel like that's the case for probably a lot of kids that are growing up nowadays. There's more you can do here now as well. Let's look around together. Where it's like, if you have the option of Peach over here, if you have the option of playing something like Princess Peach Showtime, but you need to shell out 80 big ones to do it, or you can play like some freemium game that you can just hop into for free, and then it'll really try to addict you and get you in a certain gameplay loop and keep you coming back every day. That's probably going to be like the much more likely thing to happen, where where it's a lot easier to get into, and it's a lot easier to stay into with all the systems that they have in those that are designed to addict. So it's becoming a lot more common for a lot of kids growing up nowadays to get into these free entry kind of games, like Genshin, like Roblox, like list whatever gacha games. Like Clash of Clans was a big one when I was in junior high school and still is a big one today apparently. I think there's Clash Royale now too that's been out for many years. There's games like League of Legends or Pokemon Unite and stuff like that. All these free options where it's like, yeah, just get into them and start playing, and then it'll be like super heavily over monetized, but kids aren't really going to notice / care about that all that much. And when they're faced with, you want to play Princess Peach Showtime here, or you move around and jump and hit an action button, and if you want that experience, you gotta shell out 80 big ones. It's like, are you really going to do that? So yeah, had this game come out when I was a kid, I could see people that I was growing up with potentially playing a game like this. But nowadays, it feels very much not of this era and like the current way that the game market is, and the way that what I feel their target demographic is would even really gravitate towards. So, like, if their target demographic is like much younger girls, are they even really going to be interested in playing this when they have like either free alternatives or even cheaper alternatives? Like, a lot of people that are having kids nowadays are of generations that did grow up with gaming in some form and probably have like all sorts of games that they can recommend that are legendary over the years. Like, if I have kids one day, it'd be really cool to introduce them to Roller Coaster Tycoon or something like that, and the depth behind that, like the simple fun that you can start having with it, and then the depth that you can explore with it as you continue to play. And there's all sorts of like really good classics that you can find for really cheap nowadays. Like, one of the games I listed that was good, simple fun that anyone can play was Plants vs. Zombies, the first Plants vs. Zombies game. You can get that thing on sale for like $2, something like that. And if I feel like I was giving like some super young relative in my family a game to play, I would sooner choose like Plants vs. Zombies over Princess Peach Showtime here, or some older Pokemon games if they weren't like costing an arm and a leg to get, assuming we're not using other means here. I mean, again, people that are having kids nowadays, like, they might also just have like physical cartridges and devices that they can give to kiddos to be able to play. Yeah, PvZ, that's a really good option there. And that's like, nowadays I feel like if I played PvZ, it would be way too easy for me. But back when, as a game that is designed to be easy enough that anyone could get into it, like, it's really good. I remember my mom got into that game when that came out. I started playing it, and then she started playing. I'm pretty sure she beat it too. And there's not many games that my mom has played all the way through to the end. Like, she she plays Candy Crush, and she plays Pokemon Go. She plays those ones regularly. But in terms of like full-on video games that you pay for and then like you get the full experience beginning to end, she's done Plants vs. Zombies. Are there any others? There's games that we've played through together over the years, but like on our own. I don't know if there is. There might be that I might not be remembering, but that's as far as I remember there. So like that really shows about how well designed Plants vs. Zombies was as someone that anyone can get into. So if there's like a really little kid that's not super experienced with gaming yet, can always do that. Minecraft is another really good one for younger generations to get into. And Minecraft is a really good example of a game that is so well designed as a game that can be enjoyed by anybody. Is another really good example of that. Where it's like, it's kind of more like Roller Coaster Tycoon than Plants vs. Zombies, where Plants vs. Zombies, it's like, you can't really make it more difficult on yourself, like, unless you incur like some special challenge. There's no like difficulty settings. If someone like me came to play Plants vs. Zombies, there's not really a lot more depth that you can explore. But something like Minecraft and something like Roller Coaster Tycoon, if you want to really go in depth, you can really go in depth. But if you also just want to have some simple fun, you can just hop in and have some simple fun. Those are really nice games. I was kind of hoping that this game would be like some simple fun, but also have like some more depth for players to explore if they want to, but it doesn't really seem like there is. Stardew Valley is another good example there, where you can hop into it and have some good simple fun, or you can like really go ham on min-maxing your profits and like your gift giving and stuff like that. And yeah, those are good like thingamabobs that are enjoyable for all sorts of general audiences. Yeah, Minecraft is awesome for mods. I used to love playing mod Minecraft. I used to play mod packs that were filled with like science and magic and stuff like that. Though I always gravitated more towards the sciencey ones. I think one of my favorite mods was Mechanism. and just like making these whole dedicated factories and all that was like the most satisfying thing. So it's like, for those that really want to take it more in depth, go explore some mods, and you can take it so much more in depth. I had a lot of fun over the years making factories in Minecraft. I've never played Factorio, but maybe I will one these days. I keep getting recommended it because of how much I loved making factories in Minecraft back when. Maybe one day I'll play Factorio. It might have been gifted to me at one time, I don't remember. But yeah, those kinds of games that can be like really good, simple fun, but have a lot more depth to them. Whereas this is just, it's just simple, it's just bare bones. There isn't really any more depth here, and it's clearly targeting a younger demographic. But I don't think that younger demographic is really going to be all that interested when there's like freemium games that they can get into in the modern landscape. And there's also just a lot of really dirt cheap games that they can get like on Steam, like Plants vs. Zombies, for example, being a really good example there, or Minecraft or Stardew Valley, all sorts of games there that they can get into that are going to cost a lot less. Even some of these indie games that have really taken off over the last few years, like Hollow Knight, like Helldivers 2, like Pal World, like Among Us, like all these indie games that have taken the world by storm and sold like crazy. Those might be a lot more interesting when those are games that have a little bit more depth to them. Maybe not Among Us, I don't know how much depth that can have there, but a lot of these other ones that can have a lot more depth for you to explore if you want, while also just being so much cheaper. You can buy like so many of those games for the price of one copy of Princess Peach Showtime. You could get this, or you could get like so many different games there. Like, let's do a little experiment here. Let's make a shopping cart on Steam and see how many cool games I can get for the price of Princess Peach Showtime here. Let's see here. Where's Steam? And this is with them not even being on sale. I don't think there's any major sales going on right now, but these will be on major sales during like a Steam summer sale or something like that. Should I just full screen this? Yeah, sure. Just full screen this. So let's say we're here, and let's say we did Plants vs. Zombies. Oh, you can get Garden Warfare 2 now for $6. Oh, there's Zombies Game of the Year edition. You get that for like $2 when it's a spring Steam sale, is it? Maybe it's not for all kinds of things here, but still like $5. I'll empty things from my cart afterwards. Include with EA Play. Continue shopping. That's $5. How much is Helldivers anyway? And is it on here? Helldivers 2, that's $50. Okay. A Super Citizen Edition. This is still on like the higher end of indie. There, I think you can get Pal World here, and that's a that's about a $40 game as well here. Well, let's say we're adding that to the cart. That's something currently in my Steam library that I quite like. Let's say that that's added to cart here. What are some other things like Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic, which is both like 1 and 2 combined. Let's say that this was added to the cart here. What does the cart look like right now? $65. That's like the price of that's the price of Mario vs. Donkey Kong right there. CS:GO 2. Are really young kids gonna be playing that? I can look it up here. What the heck? Counter-Strike, that's free. I mean, add that to the list there of things there. What about Stardew Valley? That was mentioned there earlier. Yeah, let's say I selected Stardew Valley, and then I added that to cart, and then continue shopping. All right, now it's $82, and that's basically, I paid 83 something when you include tax for Princess Peach Showtime anyway. So this is without it even being on sale. What do you mean I don't already own? Oh, these are probably family shared for my old account is why it says I don't already own these. So, like, for example, without even it being like a Steam summer sale, if this is a Steam summer sale, like, these 3 will probably be like half off, if not more. There'd probably be a decent sale on Pal World as well. You'd be able to get all this for probably like significantly less than this, but even not on sale, like for the price of Princess Peach Showtime, like some younger kid that wants to get into some different video games could use that same amount of money and get like one of the most well-known farming games that has a lot that you can do in it. You can get like one of the, in my opinion, best kind of games for being like a starter beginner kind of thing that has a lot of depth if you really want to explore it. You can get like one of the new big open world trending games of Pal World with all the stuff that it has and be into it, like if you're into things like Factorio and automation and can keep on doing stuff there while also having a real-time action, not real-time there, just action RPG elements and stuff like that. You can play like a really cool tower defense game and Plants vs. Zombies here, and put a lot of hours into that. I've been playing this for 7.5 hours here, to beat Princess Peach Showtime. Oh, and I took like a half-an-hour break, so this is like a 7-hour playthrough here. This is essentially what this was. Whereas you get like a whole bundle like this, or even if you just took out something like Power World and got more things that are like in this price range. Like you could throw like Undertale in there or something like that if you wanted to. Like how much does Undertale go for nowadays? $11 when it's not on sale. Slap that into the cart. Put that in there. What are some other like really good cheap games here? I mean, you could get all sorts of stuff for dirt cheap when it's on sale. Might not appeal to a younger audience, but here's a really fun multiplayer game you can get for really cheap when you want. That's probably like a few bucks when it's on sale. If you want to play Monopoly, here's like any tabletop game that you can imagine pretty much in Tabletop Simulator that you can get for what? How much does Tabletop Sim go for nowadays? 22 bucks? Add that to the cart. Then, Lethal Company technically, oh yeah, that's another big trending one right now. How much does Lethal Company go for? Lethal Company, $13. It's just $13 there. Again, not on sale. Add that to the cart. If we have a look at our cart now, and let's say we take out like Power World, remove, like that. Yeah, we're at basically it's slightly more than Princess Peach Showtime, not by much. This is like the price of Tears of the Kingdom now. And then you'll be getting Lethal Company, one of the biggest trending multiplayer games right now. Tabletop Sim, which is like, want to play almost any tabletop game? Go ahead and do that. You can play with friends, you can do whatever the heck. It's basically just like access to a world full of tabletop games for 22 bucks. One of the most well-known indie RPGs nowadays, Undertale, look at that for like 11 bucks. Stardew Valley with its whole depth there. I already talked about these ones here. And like, I spent $83 when you include tax on this earlier today for like 7 hours of the simplest video game ever. And again, like there's nothing wrong with having a simple game, but ideally if you want to rope in like more of a potential audience, that simplicity should have additional depth that you can explore if you really want to delve into it. Not to mention the depth of the Steam Workshop. Absolutely. Like, there's so much of a world out there. But, like, AAA no longer means you're gonna be getting, like, such a better experience than anything else out there anymore. And so many of the trending indie games and AA games out there nowadays have really exemplified that. And it feels like more and more people are getting tired of AAA. So, again, if this game had come out like 20 years ago or something like that, it probably would have done pretty well. It probably would have gotten a cult following. There probably would have been a lot of kids that got like really into it that would have been adults today that would have really liked it. But it just feels like very out of touch for the modern gaming landscape is the impression that I get from this game. Again, it's not like a bad video game or anything like that. It's just doesn't really do anything special. And for that price tag, it's like, why? And I mean, if you want to have a game that shows young girls that they can be like these amazing heroes and stuff as well, I don't know, give them something like Metroid. I don't know. There's so many other female heroes out there in games nowadays that you can also get at like so much cheaper. Also, I should also clarify that when I said it only took me like 7 hours to beat this game when I spent $80 for it, I don't always equate like price directly to hours. Like if there's a lot of quality in that space, I feel like the price is more justified. Like when I played Metroid Dread, for example, like there's a lot of depth and a lot of things that you can do with Metroid Dread. I quite like that game. I spent $80 for Metroid Dread. That I feel is worth it. And that is a game that like will push my skill at times. And also just be like a really unnerving and somewhat spooky games at times with like the Emmy sections and all that actually have you on edge. Like giving you this unique experience that I'm not saying that other games can't give you, but it's not like not like a super common thing there. Whereas anything that was done in this game, you can find like more commonly and a lot better done in lots of other games. Like again, this felt more like a game of mini games or little demos of different things or much toned down thingamabobs. Like I remember when it came to playing Mario vs. Donkey Kong, I talked about how this game felt like it was the platforming of Mario, but much majorly toned down and feeling very stiff and not so great, with puzzle elements that are not done super well and potentially toned down to work with that janky Mario platforming. And over half of the levels are escort missions. So it's an amalgamation of things that on their own aren't necessarily bad, but combining them tones them all down to such a degree that the weird love child result here is just not super great overall. That feels kind of like this almost, but with like the different sections, each being like, here's 10 different things that the game is doing, and none of them can really be explored that much, and they're designed to be simple things that anyone can get into. Like I was making that example with like PS2 games earlier. I could probably find something on my shelf that I can use as a key example here. Let's see if I can pull something out here. I have, what do I have here? Pull this stuff off my shelf. What is this kind of thing? If I can pull it off. Here it is. This is the kind of game that I'm thinking here. Look at this. This is what this kind of makes me think of. If I go to only camera. PlayStation 2. Volume 4 Jam Pack Demo Disc. I've never played the full of any of these games, but 10 hot new games. But I played the demos like over and over again. And this is just a disc of like 10 different demos. Is what it was for different games to try to sell you on those. I was so young that I didn't even realize that that was the case. So I never went and looked for any of these games on the shelves later, but I kept on replaying the demos, mostly for whatever this car game here is. Was the case. I played a lot of that over and over again. What else is on here? Shadow of the Colossus, Ratchet Deadlocked, iToy Operation Spy. Okami is on here? Really? I don't think I ever played Okami on here. Hitman Blood Money, MOB06 The Show, Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legend, Black, Drakengard 2, Driver Parallel Lines. I've owned a demo for Drakengard all these years? I had no idea. Whichever one is the one with the vehicles is the one that I played on this a whole bunch. I maybe briefly touched these other ones. I own a little demo for Drakengard. I did that whole Nier series and said like, oh, I didn't know anything about Drakengard. I didn't realize I owned a demo for it on my shelf all these years. But what? This game right here basically gave me the same feel as this game right here. This jam pack of demos where I used to play stuff like this. Because again, as a kid, to use that analogy of my coworker there, it's like you have lots of time and lots of energy, but no money. So I wasn't really saving up and buying like really nice high quality games. I was out here buying like random crap from the bargain bin and playing that. So I have so much garbage on my shelf back there for the PlayStation 2. Man. But yeah, I never thought in my life that I'd play a game that gave me vibes of this again. So yeah, there's that. Let's see here. Honestly, if it weren't for the fact that you went broke trying to legitimately get some old classic DS games, you probably would have gotten a good gaming computer. And like 8 games for the prices that you paid for like 10 games plus 2 3DS there, or 80 plus games. That's what the minus was supposed to be. Yeah, you can get a lot, especially when there's sales going on PC. I'm tired too, and you're pretty much at rock bottom with AAA Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon is a really good example of a lot of people getting really tired with AAA, which is probably why a lot of these indie projects like Lethal Company, like Helldivers 2, like Pal World, have taken off as much as they have, because something starts gaining a little bit of traction. People are like, whoa, a really nice product for a really good price, and if it starts being able to pick up that momentum, then it just ends up really taking off, because people are becoming less and less willing to spend full price for not all that great of quality content, honestly. Speaking of AAA games with the heroines, you long ago bought Horizon Zero Dawn for PS4 factory sealed for a mere $10 Canadian. That's quite a steal. Quite a bargain by comparison for this game. Absolutely. Horizon is another one of those game series that I would like to play if I get the chance. One of my friendos that I grew up with, one of the ones that will hopefully be playing SpongeBob movie games with me this May, apparently has a PS5, and he also has a PS4, so he's told me like, hey, if you ever want to borrow my PS4, if you want to do like any stream games of things that you can't otherwise do if you don't have a PlayStation, then let me know and you can borrow whatever games and stuff. And he was saying Horizon was one of the ones that he strongly recommended to me because apparently he really liked them. You don't know or played any of those jam-pack games, so you didn't even have a console into the Wii/Wii U. I wonder if there would have been like any jam-pack kind of things on the Wii. But I remember there was a few of these on the PS4. It says this is... Wait, that's not Volume 4, that's Volume 14. Holy crap. Brought to you by PlayStation Underground. Jam-Pack Demo Disc Volume 14. All these years I owned demos for Shadow of the Colossus, Okami, and Drakengard. All these things that I would hear a lot more about in later years. It's kind of funny there. You know, 100% agree with Powell on its whole taking good things of other games without doing much on top of it. But it's basically impossible to ever make like a completely unique game nowadays. Like, considering how oversaturated the gaming market is nowadays, it's basically impossible to do anything that's completely original. I'm doing something that's original with a game that I'm making right now that I've apparently left running this whole time without realizing that I left it running. Oops. Let's go ahead and stop that. That might have been using up some resource on my computer. My game that I'm making here, where it's like, here's an AI that's like trying to learn your writing patterns, and you're basically just getting the opportunity to play around with a large language model and seeing how it learns and stuff, which I'm gonna have to finalize here in the next couple of weeks and go ham on. It's still in a very basic state. I'm gonna have to go ham on the next few weeks here. So that's the kind of thing where I can look at it and be like, huh, I genuinely don't think anyone in the gaming industry has done this yet. So there's something that's unique. But there's not really very many things that are completely unique anymore. But yeah. And yeah, there are definitely like some very derivative designs. I definitely won't deny that. I do wish that the designs can be more original. I do want there to be more creature catching games out there, because Pokemon has basically no competition. You could argue that things like Shin Megami Tensei and Persona are sort of creature catching, but I mean like creature catching in the sense that this creature is like your long-term partner that you're building up a bond with. In Persona, they're just like tools for you to use to be stronger, and then you just use them as like fusion material to make more and more useful thingamabobs and make them more powerful, or give like arcanas that you need and stuff. They aren't really ones that you get attached to. So I do think that like there should be more competition in the creature catching field, because Pokemon kind of has an almost monopoly on creature catching genre right now, in the sense of things that you build up a bond with. Digimon, you just described Digimon. Digimon is a good example there, but I don't know how much it really competes with Pokemon per se, with how much of a powerhouse Pokemon is. So I do like more things like Power World coming out. Let's see some more Digimon stuff. Let's see more like Monster Hunter stories. But I do wish that Power World was a little bit less derivative of some of its designs. Like, in competition, honestly, Power World could be the stepping stone if they play their cards right. Yeah, could well be there. But yeah, if they do keep on introducing more pals in the future, now that they have some major funding behind them with how much it's sold, hopefully they get a little bit more original. I'm sure that they can hire like some really dedicated artists to make some really cool stuff now. So hopefully they do. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed there, because yeah, some of them are like, wow, that's basically like a slightly altered Pokemon. But Digimon ain't even doing 10% of the success of Pokemon, sadly. And you play Cyber Sleuth plus Hacker's Memory, I had a blast. Got 100% those games, huh? Digimon Cyber Sleuth is a really good RPG in general. I remember when that came out, a lot of people were chatting about it on stream here and asking if I was gonna play and stuff, and everyone was saying that it was a really good, fun game. I think Anima played it. For one of the mods around here that was doing stuff with it. I'm gonna put my jam pack for now. Let's just put it back there out of the way. So yeah, I'll switch my input back over here. So all in all, what I feel about this game, if I'm gonna do like my full review of like all the different aspects, visuals and aesthetics, the visuals were nice and charming, but it lagged at a decent bit of times. Like I could definitely feel the frame drops, and that wasn't super great, but the actual visuals themselves, the game looked really nice. The cutscenes were good. I wish that there was cutscenes for like bosses dying and not just the bosses appearing. Music, I couldn't hum you like a single tune from this game. Like it was okay. Like it did the job. There was nothing that was like so jarring that was like, oh, that's kind of bad. But it's just the kind of thing that exists in the background, and you're not like, whoa, that's some cool soundtrack or anything like that. It was just okay. And And then, yeah, I already described the gameplay in depth. And the story is just a super simple Mario World kind of story. I didn't really understand what was her name even, the final boss? She, dang it, what was her name? Whatever it was, I have no idea what her name was. I have no idea what her motivation was. She just wanted to turn this whole theater into a tragedy and take over the theater and something or other. I really don't know. Also, did you beat the whole game in less than 8 hours? This is part 2. I beat the whole game in about 7 hours because I've been streaming for about 7 hours, 50 minutes. I've been giving the review here for a decent while, but I also took a half an hour break to eat supper because I hadn't really eaten much earlier. So take out like half an hour and then take out this whole review at the end. And then if you count my time at like defeating the final boss minus the time that I was eating food, then this probably took less than 7 hours. Was probably the case, so not a whole lot of time with it. And again, a game doesn't need to be like some 100+ hour JRPG or anything like that to be like getting your money's worth. Like there can be a short game with a lot of depth that really captivates you, like Metroid Dread. Like I love Metroid Dread. That's an awesome game. It might be my favorite 2D Metroid. It's either that or maybe that or Super Metroid. Those are both pretty good. The Super Metroid is a little bit dated. I really like Metroid Dread. Needless to say. And that was only like an 8 or 9 hour game, something like that. It was on the shorter end, and a lot of people complained about the game length. But this, it's like, there's not really much depth, and there's not really that much more for me to sink my teeth into. Yeah, there wasn't really that much there. Not worth it for you, to be honest. Thanks for playing for you. No problemo. I'm glad when I can do playthroughs of things that help people get like a better understanding of what to expect from these games, and kind of decide like, is this actually worth getting, or is this just something to know exists and then not really pick up or anything like that, or pick up on sales. If I can help people decide on whether they are interested in getting new games, something like that, then that is great news to me. But yeah, this was just kind of, it was a thing, is all it was. And I feel like it's probably going to fail to reach its target demographic. But yeah. Hopefully Nintendo don't take down those videos 8 years later or something. Hopefully not. One can hope here. Anyway, I want to play some Unicorn Overlord now. This game has actually been making me kind of sleepy. And because of how simple it is, let's lean forward. Take out the cartridge here. I just put my cartridge in the thingamabob. I'll just put this in the case. I'm not adding it to like my Switch game case here to go with me on the go, because I don't think I'm putting Princess Peach Showtime back in again. So I'll just... I can leave the case open here to showcase the new release and stuff. I want to play a little bit of Unicorn Overlord tonight. For the rest of the night. Just do that for a few hours. Because that has been my recent addiction. And this is another game that's like, it can be really simple for those that just want a really simple time. Like you can play on like easy mode and just have fun ordering units around. But if you want to go in depth, you can. Like, this feels like a perfect game for those that have a background in computing science like me. Because you can set your tactics for all your different characters and set the different conditions. And it's literally just like writing a whole bunch of conditional statements in programming. And as someone with a background in programming, it's like, wow, this game was made for me. Like, this is great. And I've been really liking it. But yeah, always look up gameplay and reviews before you decide on whether or not you want to buy said game. Yeah, that's a good thing to do there. Learn your lesson with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on pre-ordering games. Yeah, that's fair enough. What stream is this of Unicorn Overlord? Let's see here. This will be stream 4, so I'll edit the stream title to that. Stream 4. I don't know, and then I'll just change the stream title to like Wrapped Up Princess Peach Showtime. Time for unicorns. I don't know. I can't even spell unicorns. What the hell? Oh yeah. There was something else I wanted to mention, and then I forgot. And then I remembered, and then I forgot again. Gosh dang it, what was it? There was something else that I wanted to mention about Princess Peach. Oh yeah, I remember now. Anybody watching this as part of the Princess Peach Showtime series? What I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but what I did with the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, because I beat the main game in one sitting, I just submitted it to speedrun.com and had the slowest time on the board. I'm pretty sure I still have the slowest time on the board, because like the world record now is like an hour 10, something like that. My run is 5.5 hours. that I'm super proud of it. But when you beat something in one session, it's technically counted as a run. So even if it's the slowest time on the board, I can be on the leaderboards and then just say I'm on the leaderboards for funsies and say that I'm totally a pro speedrunner. So because I beat this in one session, I'll submit this to speedrun.com. So if you give it a little bit of time and then look up speedrun, like on speedrun.com, times for Princess Peach Showtime, there should come a time that you'll see my name on there. And we're gonna be like a super pro Princess Peach Showtime speedrunner. Just you wait. It'll be awesome. That was what I wanted to mention before we switched over here. Like if we go to speedrun.com here, and we go Mario versus Donkey Kong, there's probably been a lot more times submitted now. 2024. Look, there I am! Yeah, the world record now is 1 hour, 11 minutes, 21 seconds. And here I am. 5 hours, 13 minutes, and 40 seconds. Because I'm fast. I'm so fast. Want to see me running that rocket back? Want to see me do it again? I think whenever I beat playthroughs in one session, I'm just gonna start submitting them to speedrun.com as memes. And then if anybody's ever looking at the leaderboards, like out of curiosity, and sees this one monumentally slower time at the bottom, they'll probably be like, what the hell? Who's this guy? You know? So I'm just gonna start doing that from now on. So because I beat Princess Peach Showtime in one session, yeah, so they usually take like a week after launch for people to submit times to give people a little bit of time to like practice and hone a run in that time. Yeah, free promotion. I'm doing it more as a meme. I'm not really expecting to bring all that much audience in by doing that. Like if I wanted to focus on bringing new people in, I would just like go full in on making new video essays, at least on big topics like that. It doesn't really seem like people like my more niche video essays, which are the ones I'm more passionate about here, but just make more stuff like that. But so I'm not really expecting to bring people in, but I just kind of want to do it as a meme and then like bragging rights of like, I'm on the leaderboard, I'm a pro speedrunner of X thing. So yeah, expect to see me on the leaderboards for Princess Peach Showtime. I'm pretty sure before a lot of people submitted, I think my highest place on this leaderboard was 6th. I think that was the highest that I was when I first submitted and got my time approved before a whole bunch of other people submitted their times. I think 6th was the highest that I was at, if I recall. So, who knows? Maybe I'll be able to say that I was once in like the top 5 fastest Princess Peach Showtime players in the world. Just because it's like a phase that basically no one's submitting times. Even though I'll be like the slowest person ever on the leaderboards, probably. So, I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, let's see here. Also, lovely how your Legends Arceus Pokemon video was your more popular video. You actually enjoy those video games summaries. I'm glad that you're enjoying them. And I was mentioning it earlier this stream, but if after graduation I'm not working full time, I'll just go like full in on working several part-time jobs for a while during the summer, of working at the university as a research assistant, where I'm working more on software engineering stuff lately, work on my channel, my own business, and growing that, where if I'm doing that as like part-time work, then it's like I'll focus more on video essays and developing those. I may well be helping Guzma with his game, and I may well be trying to get some sort of a gaming grant after university to keep on making one of the games here that I'm making. We'll see if that pans out. So I might well just be working 2 to 4 part-time jobs rather than 1 full-time job is what I might just do. And if I do end up doing that and having a lot more time to commit to channel stuff here, then I'm just gonna go like full on doing video essay stuff for a little while. Well, not full on in that I abandoned playthroughs, but I'm gonna be going hard on video essays. Scarlet and Violet DLC video essay, then probably Xenoblade 3, because that's been postponed for a decent while now. Maybe I'd finally get around to making that Bravely Default 2 one. Might make one on Nier, because that's been on my mind lately. And then there's probably other ones I'd be interested in talking about. Also, there was some Assassin's Creed ones I wanted to make at one point that I literally recorded footage of while I was in Italy. Like, I recorded some footage, like, by Mount Vesuvius, the volcano that destroyed Pompeii in Italy, talking about how, Assassin's Creed plays with the past and used natural disasters like the volcano erupting as an example with the actual volcano behind me. But that footage has just gone unused because I never had the time to make it into a video. So, like, if I have the time to work on stuff like that, it'd be nice to actually put that to use. So, yeah. Maybe I'll be able to roll out some more video essays covering different games and stuff like that. That's fine. You'll be working full-time on this job that pays you 36 hours and electronic tech. Nice. Look forward to notification pings for you. I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, I would like to work on some more stuff, but we'll see what my schedule ends up looking like and how things pan out. Let me change my game category now to Unicorn Overlord. Because while it would be smarter for me at this point to be playing another one of my playthrough games that I'm, like, more behind on, that haven't had any uploads for a good while, I think tonight, after playing this for the past 7 hours, I just want to play this for a few hours to wrap up the night with how much fun I've been genuinely having with this game. So, screw doing the smart thing to diversify what I'm covering. I'm playing the thing that I want to play for fun tonight. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed Princess Peach Showtime. That's as much as I'm covering of that. I'm not doing any post-game. I'm done. I'm doing other things now. So, on to those other things.